Now, the 10-minute drill.
This is a big one.
Brought to you by TireOutlet.com. Wholesale prices, premium service.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Hit it.
Oh, I like it. It's time for the 10-minute drill. We'll exchange some sports concepts and rationalizations, and then we'll let Beef give away a prize pack that includes what today, Beefy?
Oh, buddies. Today's Guggen prize winner will get a pair of tickets to the Duel at Daytona. That's coming up Thursday, February 14th. They'll also get a $20 gift card to use at the new Southside location of 1000 Degrees Pizza.
Pras, I'll get this started. And I'll ask you. I want to ask you an NBA question. And
Good.
Ever since he went to the West
I'm
Coast,
an expert.
we don't talk about him near as much.
He's got the ticket.
I've been watching a lot.
What ultimately plays out with LeBron James and the Los Angeles Lakers, do you think, when the smoke clears here? Because, and this is why I bring it up, he's in year 16. He's missed his last night. He missed his, I think, 17th game. He's set to come back here now. He'll rally the Lakers. They'll move up. They'll get in the playoffs. If they don't get Anthony Davis this year, okay, we'll go into an off season and we'll see what they do. But that'll be year 17. And then comes, and they may not get Anthony Davis. Then would come year 18. Is he going to win a championship in L.A.? Is he just out there to be LeBron? And what's the deal?
I'm starting to revert back to LeBron really did sacrifice some of his basketball legacy just to get to L.A., whether it's some video platform he wants to start or other Hollywood business that he can be closer to. Because if he really would have evaluated the front office of the team that he was joining, he would realize that they don't know their ass from their elbow, and why would I go there? Because they're never going to give me the right pieces because they're morons. See Lonzo Ball.
Yeah.
And I'll list you 5, 6 guys the Lakers should have taken instead of Lonzo Ball. Look, it's fair to do that. We watched De'Aaron Fox. We talked about it before that draft. Take Lonzo Ball to the cleaners in the NCAA tournament before that draft.
Will he ever be considered a Laker when the smoke clears?
No.
LeBron James?
No, here's why. They're not going to have any success.
They're not.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't know.
Look, again, I'll say I don't trust the Lakers. They should have traded D'Angelo Russell. They should have drafted Jason Tatum or John Collins or De'Aaron Fox, or they would be so much better right now. They would be contending right now. Even with LeBron out, they would be winning, at least more than they are.
Yeah.
And so I don't trust the Lakers putting the pieces together. Kawhi came and went. The Lakers were never even an afterthought. So I don't trust. It's not that I don't trust LeBron as he ages. I think LeBron's got enough game that if he were, on the right team. But you know what? It's easier to make these comments when he's sitting idle.
Sure.
Because when he was playing, he had them ahead of pace.
Yes.
So, but I don't have a lot of confidence in the Lakers front office, man. I don't. They're passing on great players. They're picking up marginal ones, and I just don't know if it's going to work. Reading an article on ESPN, 3 blockbuster trades that could happen this offseason, and they go through,
all right,
a variety of them. One of them being Antonio Brown, but the category number 2, a conventional trade.
What do you got?
That might not make sense upon inspection. Baltimore sends Joe Flacco and a 5th rounder to Jacksonville for a 3rd round pick.
Okay.
Did you like that deal?
Why are we doing that instead of waiting for them?
Well, and here's what they're saying. A conventional trade that might not make sense upon inspection, and the inspection is this. At the end of the day, the last 3 years, Joe Flacco's QBR is 51.4 and Blake Bortles is 50.5. It's just not enough of an upgrade, Dan.
Right.
Flacco. And that's another one. It's this reminded me of this evolving opinion I have, but I don't want a 31-year-old whose numbers just aren't good enough.
What's your question? Do I want Joe Flacco?
Does that trade make sense to you?
No, because I think the Ravens ultimately will cut Joe Flacco, and then you can sign him if you want him. I wouldn't mind Joe Flacco if I'm getting Dwayne Haskins. The problem is you have to get the veteran before you get the rookie, because the free agency and stuff starts in March. The draft is at the end of April, so what you do with your veteran quarterback will sort of tip your cap to what you're planning on doing, we think, in the draft. Although if you sign Nick Foles, that may not preclude you unless they come out and say, no, we're not drafting a quarterback in the 1st round. We have Nick Foles. which might be their plan. And if that's their plan, it's hard to argue with that. For the next 2 years, Nick Foles won a Super Bowl last year. So, again, off-season stuff, and we can go back to last year, and this is where it gets fun. It didn't work, but when we had Tom Coughlin in here, he defended it, and when we look back on it, a lot of their moves made sense. So you have to be very sure about what you're going to do and believe in what you're going to do.
As much as the mistake, I was thinking about this, I even verbalized it a little bit in the 6 o'clock hour, but as much as big a mistake as it was re-signing Bortles to the extension and believing he could win you a Super Bowl, because at the end of the day, if you don't believe your quarterback can win you a Super Bowl, then he shouldn't be your starting quarterback. The mistake they made in that was, yeah, it's happened, but you know what Trent Dilfer had, Dan?
Mm-hmm.
He had the Ravens defense.
Right.
He had Jamal Lewis at 2,000 yards.
Well, maybe
not some sulky rookie and not some good but not great defense.
There was talk of this defense being that good, and we expected Leonard Fournette to blossom in year 2 after a very solid rookie season.
But if you were in that building,
in other words,
you should know better in the building.
If Leonard Fournette had rushed for 1,500 yards and 15 touchdowns last year, I don't think anybody would have been surprised.
Here, the bottom line is,
aren't we much more surprised what happened to Leonard Fournette? Now, some people, he's always injured. That's crap. I can go back to I can find 5 college running backs who had a severe injury in college and never got hurt, including Frank Gore.
Well, Nick Chubb.
Yeah. So, I mean.
Here's the thing, though. There is a greater expectation of evaluation when you're inside the building with someone. And now that we learn what it's like inside the building, maybe you shouldn't have thought that. Like when Leonard Fournette was a rookie, even in a good year, and he was going to get suspended for the first half of a football game,
right?
And he argued Doug Marrone to the point that Marrone said, well, fine, it'll be a whole game. That gives you a little insight into what you can expect, too, or it should.
Yeah.
Now, the Leonard, Fournette maturity is a big part of the future here too, right? The maturation process, it's got to be more pronounced, or that will end up being a bust.
What was the most impactful trade of last year in the National Football League? And I'll give you a couple.
Yeah, I'm going to need you. I don't remember any, so you're going to have to give me some.
Bears going all in for Khalil Mack. Cowboys trading for Amari Cooper.
That also had impact.
Jets moving up and getting Sam Darnold. Rams getting Brandon Cooks. Washington trading for their starting quarterback.
I tell you what, it's Amari Cooper, and I'll tell you why, because it gives Dallas, a good play, better than average player at all 3 of the positions. That gives you Prescott, Elliott, and Cooper, and Dallas won a playoff game, and moving forward, they're in pretty good shape offensively with those 3 guys, I think. And they had nothing at the receiver position. Now, you can also make the argument on the Bears, but the Bears, we're going to have to wait this thing out a little bit because they gave up so much.
Yeah.
Like Dallas, Dallas gave up some property for sure, but not like what the Bears gave up. So, but I think Khalil Mack, again, if I'm Dallas and Chicago.
Bears aren't in the playoffs without Khalil Mack,
yeah,
though, I don't think.
Yeah, and I'm not sure Dallas is either. I mean, Dallas was struggling when they got Amari Cooper. So, yeah, they both had the impact that led to wins. Down the road, what will the impact be? I don't know. But if I'm either of those teams, I make the trade over. And isn't that ultimately the measuring stick? Would you do the trade again?
Yeah.
And really, almost all of those you would do the trade again. I mean, Washington, the guy got hurt, so it's hard to say. All right, one last issue. FSU is
next issue
settled itself basketball wise, and they're back on the incline.
All right.
I don't know if I have a question here. I'm predicting a disappointing night for Ole Miss fan. They're going to get the bad side of the bipolar Gator basketball team, and I just got a gut feeling that they show up tonight, and because that's what they do. They show up once every 4 or 5 games against a name opponent and get a victory. So I know you probably haven't watched a ton of Ole Miss, but they're one of the real surprise success stories so far this college basketball
Didn't they just
season.
lose a game?
Yeah, they did. But they've Bama maybe, LSU, one of those. But they've been very good.
Yes.
So your thoughts on – I tell you my main thought, love the start time. I can actually watch a game and go to bed. 6:30 tip, Dan. 6:30 tip in Gainesville. That's kind of odd. What do you make of this Gator basketball game tonight, and any hope that you might have that this season can turn?
I'll say this. I have about a 2% hope if you're talking about season turning into them going to the tournament. This is their last stand. I will say that. And the reason I say that is because of who's coming up on the schedule.
Kentucky, Auburn, Tennessee.
Kentucky, by the way, is playing lights-out hoops right now. They destroyed Vandy.
Yeah, you know how you can tell? You can tell where Kentucky is as a team just by watching 3 minutes of Calipari's press conference, because he gets smug and smart-alecky and full of himself when they're winning. So
FSU's in a good stretch because they've had Clemson at home, and they played a very bad Miami team that's been devastated by injury, and they've got Georgia Tech coming up, and then they go to Syracuse and Louisville, and things get a little amped up again. So we'll see, but they're fine. They're okay. They'll be in the tournament. I expect more from FSU, but they're doing what they have to do after a 1-4 start. Florida, I don't know about you when you talk about the good side. I think there's been one game where they've played well offensively, and that was 2 games ago. I don't know what we'll see from them tonight, but I can pretty much tell you I can't tell you one thing we'll see. We'll see about a 6-minute stretch where the announcer will allude to the fact that the Gators have not made a field goal in the last blank minutes and blank seconds.
Yeah, they've had some other flashes except for 2 games ago, but it has been forgettable.
Offensively?
Yeah, Butler. I mean, they were great against Butler that game.
Yeah,
they killed them.
Start.
Yeah, and West Virginia, they played good in Madison Square Garden against West Virginia. But, yeah, overall, though, it's been very sporadic at best, right?
I'm just trying to look. They had 81 against A&M.
I'm not even so much going by the point total.
I kind of am. Like, when did they hit 80? They scored 82 against LaSalle.
80's a lot of points in college.
They scored 98 against UNF. My God. And then only one other time, Jeff, over 81 against A&M. Those are your 3 80s, 80 pluses.
Yeah, I'm looking at Tennessee, 78 against Florida, 71 against Alabama. They have been over 80 a ton, but in
3 times.
3 times.
Tennessee, they scored 67.
No, I'm looking at what Tennessee has scored. Number one team in the country, although they're much higher scoring than Florida. That's not even really a fair comparison.
Where is Florida in scoring offense?
In the country?
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh, he's got to be low. I will tell you that, though. I'll look that up. We'll offer it up when we come back after the break. Right now, though, it's your chance to be a winner. Beef, what caller are you taking, and tell them what they win?
I'm going to take caller number 5 today, guys, at 641-1010. They're going to get a pair of tickets to the Duel at Daytona. That comes up on Thursday, February 14th. Also, if you hit the text line right now, text the keyword Daytona to 641-1010. You'll be entered for a chance to win tickets to the Daytona 500. You can also buy tickets at Daytona500.com. We'll also throw in a $20 gift card that you can spend at the new Southside branch of 1000 Degrees Pizza. Give it a minute. It's hot.
Well, in honor of Dale Earnhardt, we'll go with 3. Caller number 3.
No, he already said
5.
10-10. What?
He said 5.
I thought I did that.
Florida does average
I wasn't listening. I'm sorry, Beef. I was in the Bahamas.
There it goes.
Caller number 5, just so we're clear.
Just as a tease, Florida does average less points per game than both UNF and JU.
This is the drill.